So good evening. This is the Dartmouth Conservation Commission's meeting for Tuesday, November 25, 2025. And we do have a quorum present of 5 commissioners. An affirmative vote will require 4 affirmative votes out of 5. We're conducting this meeting remotely because on March 28th, 2025, Governor Healy signed a further extension of the hybrid remote meeting option for municipalities. And that option is extended until June 30, 2027. Our meetings are accessible by the public, not only to watch, but also to participate. As you'll notice on the bottom of your screens, there's a chat feature. There should be a raise your hand feature. And if all else fails, wave your hand and you'll be recognized. We respectfully ask that those who aren't speaking keep their microphones muted so we don't have extraneous noises interfering with anyone's presentation. This meeting was duly posted according to the state laws and Town of Dartmouth bylaws, and it was also on our website. That being said, we're going to move now to our first items for consideration, and those are administrative. The first would
Mr.
be
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, if I could just jump in, you said we have 5 members. We actually have 6 members sitting.
Oh, I forgot to count myself. Well, including me, we have 6.
Dinosaurs, Mike.
I heard that line before.
Okay. All right. Where's the?
We picked up Donald.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. So it's still going to be an affirmative vote requiring 4. So the first item of business is the approval of the October 28, 2025 minutes. May I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We have a seconded motion. We'll do a roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. The second item of business is the approval of the field trip reports for November 5, 2025. I have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. The final administrative item is to receive the minutes of November 5, 2025. May I have a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, before we move on, I need to make a little bit of an announcement as it relates to minutes. I was informed last Friday that we have lost our minutes clerk. She has resigned from the position. She had been doing minutes for ourselves, planning board, and I think maybe one other board. She is no longer doing minutes. They are trying to figure out how to replace her or substitute her services to us. So moving forward, there may be some delays in receiving minutes. I will keep you posted as we proceed through this, but this was a last minute thing that I was not aware about. So just making you aware.
I appreciate that. I wonder if the town has looked into the AI assisted transcription devices that might be helpful, because then all you need to do is edit. You won't, and it's pretty good actually. It's not like the old voicemails on your cell phone. It actually is pretty accurate, and it's not very.
I don't know where they are in the process. Like I said, this came about very late. So,
All right. Well, I'll give Cody a call and see if the town is looking into it. That would be a big help to all of it'd even be a big help if you had somebody doing minutes, because their job would be immensely enhanced. They'd be basically editors. Okay.
Okay.
We're going now to the field trip reports. And the first is a request for a certificate of compliance with DEP file 15-2703 RCC 25-21 from Walter Shepard and Christopher Zamito, care of Alan Haru. It's for the removal of 14 linear foot wooden bulkhead replaced with a 38 plus or minus foot linear foot stone revetment. It's on a coastal bank. The regulations were 310 CMR 10.02 and section 360-2 of the Town of Dartmouth bylaws. The land is described as map 91/94, lot 4/4. It's otherwise known as 307 Smith Road. What is staff's recommendation for this request?
that would be 307 Smith Neck Road, for the address. Yeah, this work was done in full conformance with the plan of record. Staff is recommending a complete certificate of compliance.
Is there any discussion amongst commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, just make everyone aware, I live at 307 Smith Neck Road. I have no equity in the Round Hill Corporation, and so I don't see any, whatever you call it, issues with me voting on this.
Yeah, I don't think there's a conflict there either, James. I agree with you. So we have a recommendation from staff of issuance of a complete certificate of compliance. May I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
A seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Our second field trip report is a request for a certificate of compliance, DEP file 15-1886, RCC 25-23 from Christine M. Long for a partial certificate of compliance for a single condominium. The regulations that were involved are 310 CMR 10.02, 10.55, and section 360-2 of the Town of Dartmouth bylaw. The land is described as map 43, lot 13-5, 13-6, 13-7, 13-8, 13-9, 13-10, 13-11, and 13-13. It's known as 17 8th Green Drive. Mark, what is staff's recommendation on this request?
Just a little background. File number 15-1886 was a file number issued to a neighborhood within the Fairway Drive condominium complex just to the south of the former Hawthorne Country Club. The request is for a single unit, unit 17 of 8th Green Drive, and upon inspection, all the work was done on that unit in conformance with the plan. Staff is recommending a partial certificate of compliance limited just to the 17 8th Green Drive unit.
Thank you. Does any commissioner have any questions? I don't see any. I'll entertain a motion to issue a partial certificate of compliance on DEP file 15-1886 only as to 17 8th Green Drive.
So moved.
Second.
We have a seconded on the motion. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Our third field trip report is a request for certificate of compliance, DEP file 15-2760, RCC 25-22. It's from Douglas and Charlene Curtis, to construct a 15-foot by 35-foot in-ground pool patio, landscape beds and pavers within land subject to coastal storm flowage and within the 100-foot buffer zone to both a coastal bank and land under the ocean. The regulations 310 CMR 10.02, 10.04, 10.26, 10.30, and Section 360-2 of the Town of Dartmouth bylaws. It's on land described as map 117, lot 11. It's otherwise known as 14 Water Street. And Mark, I recognize that this is registered land. So if we were to grant the certificate of compliance, it will require wet signatures.
Yes, it will, and those wet signatures will be ready by 9:15 tomorrow morning.
And is Town Hall closing early tomorrow?
Town Hall is closing at 12 noon and will be closed on Friday. So either we get it done the first half of tomorrow or it goes over till next week. And we'll have a discussion on that a little later in another case. Staff's recommendation, the work has been done in full conformance with the plan of record. Therefore, staff is recommending a complete certificate of compliance that will require wet signatures.
Thank you. Does any commissioner have any questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to issue a complete certificate of compliance on DEP file 15-2760.
So moved.
Second. Second.
Okay, we have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Nat,
Yes.
Donald.
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. We're moving now to the fourth field trip report, and that's a request for determination of applicability, RDA 25-23. It's on the request for determination of applicability from Randy Moitoso to install wooden fencing and cattle panels for cattle and equines for a nonprofit 501c3 animal sanctuary, leaving a 1-foot gap at the bottom to allow wildlife to pass through safely and to square off the back of the house paddocks within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The applicable regulations are 310 CMR 10.02, 10.55, and Section 360-2 of the Town of Dartmouth bylaw. The land is described as map 38, lot 16. It's otherwise known as 32 Pembroke Drive. What is staff's recommendation on this request for determination of applicability?
Yes, the work proposed is within the buffer zone to jurisdictional wetlands. No wetlands are involved. The purpose is to limit animal access into the wetlands and to secure them within an existing paddock area and a to be developed paddock area. Staff's recommendation is a -3 determination with 2 conditions. The first being our standard erosion control. There is some work proximal to wetlands, and I think that hay bales, wattles, hay bales, and silt fence should be required. And the second condition would be a 10-inch plus or minus gap at the bottom of the fence to allow for wildlife passage. 12, if they want to do 12, that's fine, but I think that's a little much. 10 inches, I think, would suffice.
Very good. Does any commissioner have any questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to issue a -3 determination with 2 conditions. The first being our standard erosion control conditions. The second being that the gap be a 10-inch plus or minus gap. Actually, probably a 10-inch plus gap because they're talking about a foot, but a 10-inch plus or minus gap at the bottom of the fencing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a seconded motion. Roll call vote. Liz,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Nat,
Yes.
Donald.
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yeah.
see that Mr. Moitoso is on, but he's muted. I just wanted to let him know that a negative is what he was seeking. If the commission was to seek a positive determination, there would be future filings. The negative is an approval with, as long as you follow the two minimal conditions.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
You're welcome. Our fifth and final field trip report is a request for determination of applicability, RDA 25-24. It's on the request for determination of applicability from Round Hill Community Corporation, who proposes to install a 3-inch by 10-inch horizontal beams, top and bottom, along both sides of the easterly and westerly sides of the existing historic pier cofferdam for the Charles W. Morgan at South Beach to shore up the structure within land under the ocean, land containing shellfish, land subject to coastal storm flowage, and within the 100-foot buffer zone to a coastal bank and coastal beach. The regulations 310 CMR 10.02, 10.04, 10.25, 10.27, 10.30, 10.34, and Section 360-2 of the Town of Dartmouth bylaws. The land is described as map 94, lot 4. It's otherwise known as 307 Smith Neck Road. And we note again for the record that James resides at that location, but he is not have an equity stake in Round Hill Community Corporation, and we believe there to be no conflict of interest for you participating and voting. What is staff's recommendation?
Yes, the proposal is over water work. It's actually not in the resource. It's over the resource, over the resources that were cited in the reading of the legal ed. If anybody's been down that way, the cofferdams and the pier structures have been ravaged by high energy wave action along South Beach. It certainly does need to be reinforced, and I think it's necessary, or there will be a continued debris field both on the Round Hill property and potentially on the town beach, which is adjacent and to the west. Having said that, staff is recommending a -2. Even though they're not in resource areas, they're over resource areas, and they're not in buffer zones per se. So I think it's more appropriate to recommend a -2 with our overwater erosion control condition of a boom with a suspended silt fence isolating the work area from the adjacent open waters during construction. And also, if barges are to be used, there will be no grounding of the barge at the project location.
Does any commissioner have any questions? Don't see any. So at this juncture, I would entertain a motion to issue a -2 determination with our overwater erosion control conditions, particularly with the use of the boom, and if a barge is to be used, no grounding of the barge during construction.
So moved.
Second. We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Okay. James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. That concludes our field trip reports. We're moving now on to our public hearings. The first public hearing is a continued public hearing, DEP file 15-2803, NOI 25-36 on the notice of intent from the Greater New Bedford Regional Refuse Management District, care of Alan Kirshner, to construct structures in the buffer zone pertinent to the Crapo Hill landfill capacity expansion. It's within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The regulations involved are 310 CMR 10.02, 10.55, and Section 360-2 of the town bylaws. The land is described as map 84, lot 25. It's otherwise known as 300 Samuel Barnett Boulevard. I'll entertain a motion to waive the reading.
So moved.
Second.
We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Nat,
Yes.
Donald.
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. And is someone here this evening to speak on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Anthony Novelli. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
I am the Executive Director for the Greater New Bedford Regional Refuse Management District. Thank you for your time this evening. As mentioned, this project is related to the Crapo Hill landfill in Dartmouth. The district is a public entity created by the town of Dartmouth and the city of New Bedford to manage municipal solid waste, and this is the site where the municipal solid waste from the town of Dartmouth is disposed of. This capacity has always been anticipated by the district and is the next phase of development on our site to continue providing that disposal capacity for the city and the town. If there are any district-related questions, I'm happy to discuss them. If not, we have our team here from Brown and Caldwell to present the project. I will turn it over to Liz Wilson, barring any other questions.
Thank you. Elizabeth, you have the floor.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Elizabeth Wilson, Brown and Caldwell, joined by Alan Kirshner and Adam Gouda, also from Brown and Caldwell. Adam's going to be sharing his screen, and I'm going to start by just referencing figure 4 that was submitted with the notice of intent and provide some background. Just let me know when you are able to see the figure pop up.
I put in a request to turn on sharing if that's allowed.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Here we go. Okay.
Here it is. Now I can see it.
Excellent, thank you. So as Anthony mentioned, the Crapo Hill landfill is located on Samuel Barnett Boulevard, adjacent to the New Bedford Business Park. The landfill property itself consists of 152 acres that was site assigned for its use as a municipal waste landfill back in 1981. Over the years, starting in the early 90s, phase 1 was constructed and came into operation in 1995. Since that time, phase 2 that you see in sort of the center of the landfill, disposal cells within phase 2 were constructed, and most recently, phase 2 cells 5 and 6, so on the southern portion of where you see those steep contours, those were constructed in 2015 and 2018 in accordance with Mass DEP authorizations, and those phases were also required an order of conditions from the commission. So to summarize, to date, 49.7 acres of landfill have been built and are currently in operation. This proposed new cell that's part of the existing footprint and site assignment is going to be known as phase 2 cell 7, and you can see that on the western side of the site where there's an existing stormwater basin. The existing landfill as it is today is expected to provide the community with waste disposal capacity through around late 2029, and so that provides enough time for this additional capacity to be constructed and be ready for use to provide much more additional capacity for the community. So that's sort of the lay of the land. Adam, if you could just switch to figure 6, I'll go over the project description specifically. So as it relates to the notice of intent, just to provide the context for the NOI, the work as it relates to the Wetlands Protection Act is limited to the construction of 2 stormwater basins within the 100-foot buffer zone, and no direct impacts or encroachment onto BVW. So you can see where the stormwater basin 2 is on the western side. That's where the cell 7 will be located, and it's contiguous with the cells that are currently constructed and in operation. That's about 3.5 acres in size, which relates to about 750,000 cubic yards of gross landfill volume. Where you see the hatching to the north of that basin, that is the location of one of the stormwater management basins proposed for construction. And then to the south, there is a second basin proposed. There we go. Also, a portion of that is within the 100-foot buffer. That it's designed to keep the landfill cell itself is designed to keep that entire footprint out of the buffer zone. But the activities associated with constructing the basin, including site grading and the basins themselves, are within that buffer zone area. The total amount of buffer zone that would is within the footprint of the stormwater basins is approximately 55,000 square feet for the construction of those stormwater basins. So again, while the construction doesn't enter into the BVW, those basins are part of the buffer. The 25-foot no disturb is also identified on here. Certainly there's no activity proposed within the 25-foot no disturb, so that reduces the impact there as well to the buffer zone. So no work in the buffer zone, meaning there's no loss of that vegetated wetland. In this area, there are also no habitats for rare vertebrates or invertebrate species, no areas of critical concern in this area. So we're meeting the performance standards of the BVW there. In terms of protective measures for the BVW, during construction, of course, erosion sedimentation controls will be installed prior to any earthworking activities, and on the down gradient side, those would be installed before any type of disturbance takes place and maintained throughout the duration of the construction. Additional erosion and sedimentation controls and or things like diversion berms may also be installed in upgradient areas as needed so that we can minimize any stormwater runoff that may increase in volume, so we can control the flow in the direction. Construction materials will be stored outside of the buffer zone. Things like equipment fueling and maintenance would take place within the active workings of the landfill, which is contained by a liner system, or there's also a maintenance garage on site. The facility itself, on an operational basis, has a stormwater pollution prevention plan and a spill control plan. Those same concepts are going to apply to the construction phase, certainly in terms of spill prevention, control and response. And the construction itself will have a construction general permit and construction stormwater plan specifically for those activities, along with the inspections that are required. I'm going to pause there for questions, if there are any, before handing it over to Adam to talk about the stormwater design.
What we usually do, just so you know, we'll let you put your presentation on, and then I'll ask staff for their comments, and then commissioners may ask questions. And if there are none from the commissioners, we'll open it to the general public.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thanks, Adam. I'll turn it over to you to talk about the stormwater.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sounds good. So similar with the other landfill disposal cells, stormwater that falls within the active disposal area will be collected as leachate within the lined portion of landfill that Liz had referenced before. On the outside slopes of the landfill, where there's intermediate cover placed, rainwater runoff will not come in contact with the waste materials themselves, and stormwater in that area will be directed to the stormwater management basins, the one on the western corner that this had referenced before, and then the one in the south, basins 1 and 2, respectively. Currently, landfill is designed to collect all stormwater runoff into perimeter swales, and then that runoff is directed to 2 stormwater management basins. There's the south basin, which I'm hovering my cursor over now. It's approximately 1 acre in size. That was built in 2015 to retain a 100-year storm and then infiltrate water into the ground with a 100-year stormwater level, approximately 1 foot below the riprap lined emergency spillway. That south basin discharges stormwater to the adjacent wetlands. I'll be referring to that later, to the south wetlands. And then this basin is going to remain in place and in service and will continue to receive runoff from the southern portion of the landfill. The other basin, which is the one that will be discontinued, proposed to be discontinued service, is approximately 1.7 acres in size, was built in 2006, would also retain a 100-year storm event and infiltrate groundwater or water into the ground, and then also has a 100-year stormwater level approximately 1 foot below the riprap lined emergency spillway. That spillway discharges to the western wetlands, which I'll be talking about later. This is the basin that will be taken out of service and then replaced for development of Cell 7. So construction of Cell 7, which is in the footprint of the West Basin, is going to require construction of 2 new basins along with some other management features, which includes Basin 1, which is in the northwest corner of the area, and it's next to wetland. I'll zoom in here. It's next to wetland C, the C series, which is shown on this figure 6 and also on figure 5. This basin will receive runoff from approximately 23.8 acres drainage area, which includes the west and northwest portions of the landfill, most of which are the existing capped landfill and the western side of the proposed landfill. Basin 2, which I'll pan down to now, is proposed in the southwest corner of the facility. It's also shown on figures 5 and 6. It's going to be adjacent to the B series wetland flags and the bogs, that southern wetland area. This basin will receive runoff from approximately 4.7 acres of drainage area, which is limited to the southwestern side of the proposed new landfill Cell 7. Existing and new stormwater swales are proposed to convey and direct stormwater runoff into these 2 basins. Vegetated slopes, direct runoff from vegetated slopes into these basins. And then lastly, there's a series of culvert pipes that are proposed in 3 locations to convey stormwater beneath the perimeter access road. And that is the stormwater design portion.
Very well.
And
More to the presentation, or does that conclude the presentation?
Liz or Alan, anything last you'd like to add?
No, I think our summary of the proposed work is complete. If anyone has questions.
Very good. With that, Mark, are you going to need the screen share to remain when you give your comments?
It would be helpful.
All right. Staff comments,
before-
please.
Before I make any comments, I was wondering if since we have several new members of the commission who may or may not be aware of landfill design and landfill design within close proximity of wetlands, as is Crapo Hill. And I'm not questioning the design, it's site assigned and all that. but could somebody summarize your leachate management and your liner system to prevent groundwater contamination beneath the landfill and then certainly seeping to down gradient wetlands?
Sure. We have Alan Kirschner on the line who can speak to that.
Yeah, yes, thanks, Liz. So it's a good question. The landfill, the entire landfill as it exists today has full liner and leachate collection systems beneath it. Most of the existing landfill, I'd say about 90% of it has what we call a double liner system. And that will be continued in the cell 7 area as well. And so what I mean by the double liner system is it has two systems for collecting leachate, one beneath the other. So if you will, it's somewhat of a redundancy so that if something doesn't get caught in the primary, it does get caught in the secondary. So it's that's the system that will be part of cell 7. So starting from the very bottom of the liner system, I'll just give you a quick overview of what it consists of. The bottom of the liner has to be set 4 feet above the maximum groundwater table. So that's the starting point for the very base. Above that, we'll have a 12-inch thick clay liner, compacted clay liner, above which we will have a geosynthetic clay liner on the surface of the clay liner. Above that will be a geomembrane. And above that, and this is the secondary liner system, above that will be the secondary leachate collection layer. And then above that is another geosynthetic clay liner, another geomembrane, and then the primary leachate collection system, which is just beneath the waste. And that system comprised of 18 to 24 inches of sand placed above the liners. All that material or anything that enters those systems are captured in a sump that will be at the northwest corner of cell 7. And in that sump, we'll have, I should say sumps, because we will have two. One for the secondary leachate collection system and one for the primary leachate collection system. Both of those will be equipped with pumps that are automated to remove leachate that enters the sump when it reaches a certain fixed level. From there, the leachate will be pumped up through into the main pump station, where it will then be discharged into the City of New Bedford wastewater sewage system in Samuel Barnett Boulevard. So that's kind of a high-level overview. It's the entire new cell will be situated with a liner, as I just described. That liner system will be connected to the existing liner systems, which are along the western boundary of the existing landfill. So in essence, we will have one continuous liner system beneath the whole landfill without any sort of interruption or gaps between the different cells.
Alan, just as a quick follow-up, thank you for that. Could somebody just indicate on the plan for those members unfamiliar where this pump facility is that discharges into the New Bedford system, just so they have a pictorial of the existing landfill, the proposed expansion, and where this material is ultimately going and leaving the site?
Yes, so Adam, start with where the sumps will be located in cell 7. So there will be two sumps right about where Adam's cursor is now. Those will pump through a force main up to what we call the main pump station. Run that on up, Adam. Main pump station is right there. And that's where all the leachate from the entire landfill is collected together. And from that point, there's a series of pumps in there that will pump it through a force main up through the existing haul road to the sewer in the street.
Could you just show where that whole road is in relationship to all of this? I mean, I know where it is because I've been out there, but not everybody goes out there.
Yep, yeah. If you could run that right up at them, wonderful.
And out through the main gate.
Up through the main gate, yes.
There's the facility entrance here.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Those were my only questions. I wanted everybody to at least understand where this material goes, because ultimately that's the greatest concern of landfills, over the course of time. And it's a system that has vastly been improved. The designs have been improved to minimize underlying groundwater contamination or adjacent surface water contamination. So thank you for that. Comments. This project is a commercial project. Therefore, it requires third-party peer review for stormwater. The initial review, I think I sent you our peer review, Gus Raposo, professional engineer's comments, and he had several questions several weeks back. Those questions were answered in plan and in narrative. And I also copied you on a letter from Mr. Raposo dated November 21st last week, indicating that the revised response satisfied all his concerns relative to stormwater, and he is concurred and has signed off on the stormwater system. He does make a comment, and I also made the comment, and it's not so much that the plans are wrong, it's kind of the presentation. There's a stormwater analysis and there's a project design. One of my concerns was some of the plans were not dated. They were stamped with a date, but the plan themselves were not dated. And the second issue was, I think that there needs to be a plan set, because a lot of what was discussed was in narrative, and that's great for peer review. But based on, the constructability, contractors build what they see on plans. They don't read reports and then build. So Mr. Raposo is requesting, and I'm going to also include within the my proposed conditions of approval, that a full construction set be submitted to the commission for the record. We have the plans of record, which we will stamp, but for the record, so that we have the plan set that the contractors are going to have. I think that's very important, because ultimately, in a project of this complexity, we all need to be on the same plan sheet, on the same page, same date, when we're evaluating whether the project was successfully constructed or not. So that was a concern. So the stormwater findings are fine. We'd like the plan inclusion. We got the description of the leachate management system, which I think was very thorough. And having said that, I am going to recommend a standard order of conditions with some modifications to our standard conditions. And I did send copies to the commission, but I will read them in for the record. The first modification is for special condition number 21, which reads, "This order is contingent on the applicant obtaining all other necessary and required permits or licenses. Also, filing a completely updated revised construction plan set including all revisions to the stormwater program that were submitted to and approved by the third-party peer review consultant within 21 days of the close of the public hearing. No activity shall occur prior to obtaining all such approvals and the submittal of the aforementioned revised construction plan set. Special condition 41, which is the number just changed. It's when using seed mixes, which the applicant is proposing. When using seed mixes of any type or source, the Conservation Commission shall require all sowing of seed to be at the specified density and aerial coverage. And lastly, condition 42, all plantings that fail to survive through the first full growing season for any reason shall be replaced by the applicant or their successors or assigns. So staff is favorable to this with those conditions.
I just have a quick question, Mark. You had indicated at the beginning of the narrative that you wanted a updated, revised construction set for the commission's consideration, but I don't think we have to consider that. That's just a condition that you want.
No, it wasn't for Conservation Commission consideration. It was for the commission to have as of record for future review. The plans that we have, and I believe, what was the dating on them? Yeah, the plans that we have are dated 8/20/25. That's the design plans for permitting purposes. I'm okay with those. They meet this standard and they meet the stormwater consultant standard. I just think that the way the plans have been presented, they are very disjointed, and we would like to have for our record the construction plans that will be handed to the contractor to build cell 7.
Okay, I get that part. I just want to be clear to the commissioners that the construction plans are not something we vote on, nor do we actually review them before either approving or not the request. Okay, that's just a condition. It'll be in the file subsequent to the vote, assuming the vote is positive. So that being said, can you please discontinue the screen share so I can see who's speaking, please? Thank you. So, does any commissioner have any questions? Is there anyone in the audience that wants to be heard on this request? I don't see any commissioner wanting to be heard, and I see no member of the audience wanting to be heard. So I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Commissioners, I'll now entertain a motion to enter a standard order of conditions on the plan dated August 25, 2025, or is that
20th.
20th, 2025, with the modified conditions, condition number 21 as articulated by Mr. Garrett, and 41 as articulated by Mr. Garrett, and 42 as articulated by Mr. Garrett.
So moved.
Second.
We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Good luck, folks.
Thanks very much.
Good presentation, by the way. Very thorough and concise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Number 2 is a continued public hearing, DEP 15-2805 NOI 2539. It's on the notice of intent from the Dartmouth Natural Resources Trust, Inc., DNRT, care of David M. DeVignan, for site improvements that include the installation on-site gravel road, access with signage, parking areas, and stormwater controls, improving sight lines along Flag Swamp Road, and removing a steel catwalk, 2 pump houses, and a wooden pier. These activities will all occur within inland bank, land underwater, bordering land subject to flooding, riverfront area, and the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The regulations are 310 CR, 10.02, 10.54 through 10.58, and Section 360-2 of the Town Dartmouth bylaws. It's on land described as map 79, lot 34-1. It's otherwise known as 293 Flag Swamp Road. I'll entertain a motion to waive the reading.
So moved.
Second.
We have a seconded motion. Roll call vote. Liz,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Nat,
Yes.
Donald.
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Is there someone here tonight for the applicant? I didn't see David.
No, they submitted an email request to the commission, which I forwarded to the commissioners, requesting a continuance to the December 23rd, 2025 hearing. The reason for that is that when an NOI is submitted on the portal, there's an opportunity for various departments to comment on the presentations and the applications. DPW does an engineering review, and they do their own stormwater review. We don't ask them to do peer reviews as of yet, but they do many times review stormwater. DPW engineering was concerned that there were drainage basins designed with no supportive stormwater calculations in close proximity to the wetlands. I agreed with their statement and their concerns. I forwarded their concerns to Mr. Davignon and suggested that I was in full support of them. And they said they needed time to put those together. So they've requested this continuance. Staff is recommending the requested continuance to December 23rd, 2025.
Very well. Any commissioner have any questions? Is there anyone in the audience who wants to be heard tonight? Okay, I don't see any commissioner having any questions or anyone in the audience wishing to be heard. So I will entertain a motion to grant a continuance on DEP file number 15-2805 until our meeting on December 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Second motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Nat,
Yes.
Donald.
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Our third public hearing is on DEP file 15-2806, NOI 25-40. It's on the notice of intent from Mary Ellen Malone to construct a 16.5 by 23.5 foot single-story addition and deck to an existing family home within land subject to coastal storm flowage. The regulations involved are 310 CMR 10.02, 10.04, and Section 360-2 of the Town of Dartmouth bylaws. It's on land described as map 127, lot 28. It's otherwise known as 19 Lucy Street. I'll entertain a motion to waive the reading.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz,
Yes.
Richard,
Yep. Yes.
James,
Yes.
Nat,
Yes.
Donald.
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Do we have somebody here this evening that will speak for this application?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Mary Ellen Malone and I'm the homeowner at 19 Lucy Street. This is a 1.5-story Cape house that was built in the late 1950s. I purchased it in June of 2024. And as you said, it's land subject to coastal storm flow. And what I'm proposing is to enlarge the footprint from 1,524 square feet to 1,913.4, basically adding a first floor bedroom so that as I age in place with my son and daughter-in-law and grandchildren next door, I won't be navigating stairs. I'm happy to share my screen. Mark Boucher is the surveyor who did this work for me.
And
And I am sharing the wrong.
that's
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
There we go. Okay, now I got it.
All right. Yeah, it's not like I haven't done this for work a million times, but so as you will, this is the property. There are no variances required. This is all within the existing setbacks. Not sure what additional information you need beyond this. There's a comment from DPW about using a slightly narrower and shallower construction exit than the one that Mark was recommending. But other than that, there were no additional comments from DPW. So
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Mark, staff's comments on this request, please. I know you wrote some up, but
Yeah, well, it's pretty simple. It's a deck and a proposed addition within land subject to coastal storm flowage. The proposed construction happens to be on existing lawn area, so this is not a clearing project. DPW did make some comments. The first one, Mary Ellen did outline as the construction entrance. From our standpoint, it really has no merit within the wetland jurisdiction or wetland protection one way or another. The site is a developed site. It is a single family residence in a yard area in a neighborhood. So the width of the construction exit, certainly the narrower the better, but it really doesn't have an effect on the functional performance of land subject to coastal storm flowage. Mary Ellen, if you could scroll down, because DPW does make another comment in red at the bottom, which also is a utility question, not so much a wetland question. So I think that from staff's point of view, I think that the applicant should certainly comply with the DPW comments. Again, they are non-wetland issues, so I don't know that this really should halt our decision one way or another. Having said that, staff is recommending a standard order of condition as per the plan dated August 29, 2025, contingent on satisfying the DPW comments and submitting any revised plans, including those comments, to the commission file just for the record. These are not going to change anything to do with the design.
thank you. Does any commissioner have any questions? If you wouldn't mind, please, could you stop sharing your screen just so I can see that? Thank you. Does any commissioner have any questions? Is there anyone in the audience this evening that wants to speak on this application? I see no commissioner having any questions, and I see no one in the audience wishing to be heard on this matter. So I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Move. Second.
We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Commissioners, I'll entertain an order to issue a standard order of conditions on DEP file. I want to get it right, 15-2808.
06.
Pursuant to the, pardon me?
06.
I didn't get it right. Sorry about that. It's, well, if it's 06, it's wrong in the, it's, what am I doing here?
No, you're reading.
I'm sorry, I
number
went to the
4.
next one. I see where I am.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, you're right. 2806. Sorry about that, guys. Pursuant to the plan dated August 29, 2025, with our standard condition number 21, that the order is contingent on the applicant obtaining, all other necessary and required permits or licenses, that no activity shall occur prior to obtaining all such approvals, and the applicant shall show proof to the commission that they have addressed all DPW review comments as presented prior to commencing the work, and present to the Conservation Commission any revisions pursuant to such DPW review comments.
Move.
Second.
We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Good luck.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening.
Now we're finally going to get to the DEP file 15-2808. So we have our final public hearing on file number 15-2808, NOI 25-41 on the notice of intent from 600 Potomska Land Trust, care of David M. DeVignan, to construct a residential pier and perform improvements to the existing cart path within land subject to coastal storm flowage, land under the ocean, land containing shellfish, the 100-foot buffer zone to a salt marsh, and within 200-foot riverfront area. The regulations are 310 CMR 10.02, 10.04, 10.25, 10.32, 10.34, and Section 360-2 of the Town of Dartmouth bylaws. The land is described as map 19, lot 20_2, or 600 Potomska Road. I'll entertain a motion to waive the reading.
Move.
Second.
Second.
We have a seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. And I see that we have a request by email from the applicant to continue this until December 23, 2025. This is the first request for a continuance, right? Because it's the first time we've called this.
Yes, the reason for it was that he submitted the plans and the harbor master commented that he thought that the location that was being proposed presented a significant navigational hazard to the channel, not that it's a marked channel, but the channel in the Slocum River. And he suggested another location on site. And there was some question back and forth. And we suggested that Mr. DeVignan further evaluate alternative locations to locate the end of this dock and float system further away from the channel. He needs to do some additional bathymetric work along a separate area of the shoreline. And to do that, he needs time. So he requested the continuance, and staff is supportive of the continuance as requested to December 23rd.
Thank you. Does any commissioner have any questions? Is there anyone in the audience tonight who wants to speak on this request tonight? I see no commissioner having any questions, nor anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this matter this evening. Therefore, I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing on DEP file 15-2808 until our meeting on December 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Seconded motion on the floor. Roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. That motion passes unanimously. Mark, you have some items you want to discuss on our items for discussion.
Yep. Okay, a couple of things, and I'll try to make these quick updates. First of all, on the draft regulations, an update on that. As you know, I sent an email out to the commissioners that Chairman Keough, myself, and Assistant Town Council Cruz met to discuss the regulations. We came up with a plan to modify further the regulations. Step one was Town Council had a concern relative to the wording of the wetland site inspection A1 process. He came up with a alternative language which allows us to continue to do them. And I thought it was a very reasonable compromise. So we have imported that into the new regulations and deleted all other references. We've also updated, where necessary, the filing and the fee structure procedures, and we have added those into the regulations, which the commissioners haven't seen yet. The last item that we had to handle was I made a significant attempt, and I think somewhat successfully, in responding to many of the Assistant Town Council's comments. I didn't agree with all of them, and there's some further discussion that he and I have to have. The bottom line here is I don't think Mike, myself, or Brian wants to bat this around too many more times. So right now, Brian and I are knocking heads, and hopefully we'll have some sort of revision in short order, probably after the holidays, but a final edition that we can finally have a public hearing on and put to bed, consistent with the bylaw revisions. So that's where we stand on that. On the Duval Field Climate Resiliency Project, just as a refresher, this is the house lot on the south side of Tannery Lane. The house is set back. It's a triangular site bounded on one side, on the western side by Horseneck Road, on the eastern side by the Pascomanset River, just upstream of the Destruction Brook confluence. It's a piece of land that the Buzzards Bay Commission, in concert with an arts council, wants to develop for climate resiliency. They want to take the house down and do some plantings and some artistic features. They needed to be in a conservation restriction, which we discussed at a previous meeting. The commission was in favor of that. They came in requesting that the town files a grant application on their behalf for the CR. It was necessary that the town do this. They could not do it for the town. So Assistant Town Administrator Chris Vitale worked with me, and they provided the text. We provided the formatting and the submittal. So that went out last week. Further, on a different matter, on the CPC conservation restriction ongoing discussion, we had a meeting last week, and the town administrator is putting together, after some back and forth on some sample documents, is putting together a memorandum of understanding, which we will use whenever we are requested to requested / required to enter into a CR. This memorandum of understanding is going to present a partnership agreement in which we will hold a name, and the partnering entity will provide us services to meet the requirements of any conservation restriction, monitoring, and the like. So that is also moving forward. On enforcement, I have some reasonably good news, especially for Nat. 801 Potomska Road was sold. Sergio Mazzo, the former owner, which we had numerous enforcement orders on, which he ignored for many, many years, while dumping on his property, was forced to sell by the state, and he did. And Ron Oliveira purchased the property and has entered, working with the Board of Health and working with us, has entered and started cleaning up the site. I had not been on the site for about 3 years, and I went out last week and I was favorably impressed with the improvements. It's not completed, but he's well on his way to doing cleaning it up in more ways than one. Relative to our enforcement, we discussed the scope of what I wanted him to do. I presented him with a letter, which I believe I copied to the commission, in which I outlined our discussions that he agreed to in the field. I will have to follow up, but there's the proceedings is to file an after the fact notice of intent. Although I think as a good faith effort, I'm going to waive the after the fact portion of this regarding fees, because he was not the person who perpetrated the violations. These are long-standing violations, and he is doing, at this point, a reasonably good job of rectifying those problems. He will flag wetlands over the front 2+ acres of land, which is where all the activities have taken place. He will evaluate a damage assessment of the wetlands and do restorative plantings while continuing to remove debris structures. There's a boat hull, there's some debris out back in the fringes of the woods, and he's going to get in there and clean that up. So I think that, having lived with this lack of attention to I believe 2 enforcement orders, this seems like a step in the right direction, and will be an improvement to the site. He's also basically, from what I understand, gutting the house and rebuilding it. The skin, he thinks, is pretty much intact with some repair work. He's not changing the footprint of the house at all, at least not at this point. I told him if he was and he's in jurisdiction, then he's going to have to file for that. But I think all in all, the site is in a better place today than it was 4 months ago. So there has been activity. There will continue to be activity moving forward. So that's just an update on that. That's a long-standing, enforcement order that I think we'd all like to close. And I know that the abutters would like it resolved and closed also. The one other item which I didn't put on the agenda because we found out about this yesterday. 11 Pokanoket Lane. This filing, the property information that was submitted by the applicant's agent was largely incorrect when we got it. And they could not record the documents because of the erroneous information, which we just transcribed from the filing. So they sent it back, and I got verbal changes. Those were not good enough. So I told the agent, Schneider, Davignon, and Leon, It said, give me the first page. You talk to the registry, find out what the information is, write it down, and I'll make whatever changes the registry wants. But I'm not going to do this three-way. Well, yesterday afternoon, I got a copy of the front page, and lo and behold, one of the trustees of the Realty Trust, which have changed over time, is Mike Keogh. And Mike thought that and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm paraphrasing this. Mike acknowledged that he was a trustee, but he thought that he had resigned that trusteeship several years ago. Upon
Well, more like
further
11 years ago, but okay.
provide, so the question became, well, according to the the registered land division, Mike is still a trustee. So while we were talking on the phone, Mike did a search, and apparently the person who Mike submitted his resignation to was supposed to record his resignation at the registry those 11 years ago, and apparently did not. There's no record of it. So Mike is still a trustee legally, even though he probably hasn't functioned as a trustee in those 11 years.
Correct.
Suffice to say, Mike cannot sign the amended order of conditions, which he did originally. So sum total is, and this is what I referred to before with the previous wet signatures, I need additional wet signatures on this 11 Pokanoket Lane amended order. That document is ready to be signed and will be on the table as soon as I get in the office tomorrow. I'd like to do this as quickly as possible, but I do understand that this is a holiday week. Tomorrow is a half day. The office will close at noon, and I understand that people might be hard pressed to get in to do this. I ask you that since we have 2 wet signatures that have to go out, that if we can't get to it tomorrow, we get to it as early as we possibly can next week.
I'll try to get. I'm not signing the Pokanoket one again, but I will try to get in for the previous one.
Understand, Mike cannot sign this one, so and I forget. I mean, I generally will get 4 signatures, and that's a quorum, and I'll send it out. If I get more, that's fine. I think I have everybody listed who voted on it. I think there were 6 of you, but I need 4 signatures as soon as possible.
I can get in tomorrow morning and sign both of them.
I'll probably be there around 11.
Yeah, I can do that as well.
Just before close.
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Well,
that's all I got.
I have nothing else myself. So unless any commissioner has a matter they want to bring up right now, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, one thing, apologies.
Sure.
Just as it relates to 801 Potomsko Road, I just thought it'd be good for the record and for the commission to know that I would be, I think it's appropriate that I recuse myself from any vote on that property. My parents are abutters, and so it could be inferred I have some sort of financial stake, although it would be indirect, certainly.
So noted. And so far, we haven't had to do anything. I'm knocking on wood here. But if it does come up, I think you're correct. That would be a conflict.
Well, there will be an order of conditions that needs to be signed, and I think that's appropriate, Nat. I understand that situation all too well.
So
I second the motion to adjourn.
To adjourn. Okay. So we have a seconded motion on the floor. We'll have a roll call vote. Liz?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Meeting adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy
Enjoy your
Happy Thanksgiving.